Alright, so here I am going to look at a recent game I had on a ladder where I randomed human against Hitman playing Night Elf. This is on BattleNet ladder. He's been playing Night Elf there either to just have fun or maybe to practice it. I faced him once before as well, and it was also on Echo Isles, and he went Warden Ancient War Creep on the Merc camp against me, even though I was random, and it worked out nicely for him. I got undead. So here I'm assuming, maybe he's just always going to do that. Maybe he thinks the Warden Ancient War Creep's going to be fun. And so my peasant, I send over and I'm like, hold up, where's the Ancient War? And not only that, but I actually queued up the second farm in my base, so I couldn't even build a farm here, which is another drawback. Because if I could have built a farm like right here, I could block trees from being built. Maybe something can still be built here. I'm not sure if there's a middle ground for the farm to block both. Maybe something like right here. But yeah, I was like, well, this sucks. I basically failed everything. I'm just going to toss a random farm in the middle since the peasant's here. Why not? And I also queued up Bloodmage because I was originally planning to do some sort of tower push right from the start anyways. I was like, why not do it with the Bloodmage? Although, if I had killed the Ancient War, maybe it would have been the wrong choice to do Bloodmage anyways, because he would likely just make potentially hunts or second Ancient War. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was the right call to do Bloodmage, but I went for it anyways. I do think it's a very, very solid strategy. The early defend footman tower push with level 2 Bloodmage, because Bloodmage just kind of counters any hero you can go, right? You either go Siphon Banish if they have something like a Demon Hunter, so the Demon Hunter can't attack, you drain all their mana, make them ineffective with Moonwell healing, or if they have something like a Keeper, you go Siphon Flamestrike. You get yourself some extra damage, zone off ranged units like archers, kill buildings potentially, etc. And of course just continue to siphon off their hero. So here I am just creeping, getting my level 2. Not the best creeping. I did take a bit of damage on my Bloodmage. I probably would have preferred to not have taken. But I also don't want damage on my footman. Mostly my militia was a little late. And so here I am. I'm just like, okay, well, let's just go. I got defend coming. I got a few footmen. Things are slightly behind with that early peasant I sent over, but it's like, okay, it's time. I got claws, few footmen, defend, 5 peasants, lumbermill. We go. And then I'm like, yo, what is this free blue ogre? Why, thank you. So instead of 229 XP, I am now at 310, 352. I just gained, what is that, 123 XP for free, basically. This footman took like maybe 60 damage. And I got 130 XP and a greater heal. And then I bought gloves and I'm like, okay, let's go. He does have 5 archers, but I got 4 footies with defend already. The treants are the biggest problem, for sure. But he's only got 1 set of treants and he's already out of mana. The Ancient War is also kind of an annoyance. But I'm just like, okay, let's just start going. Let's put up some towers. Try to make sure he has no mana. Get some Flamestrikes if I can. Defend is up. I sent over another militia, another footman. Now we're just going. And so yeah, he actually TPs into his base here, picks up the Berserker as well. I think he did a little pull there first, but I get a little Flamestrike, kind of catch him out of position, make him move, drain his mana, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. I'm level 3 already because of that XP I stole. This is like ideal scenario here. And then nice little Flamestrike there. Gets quite a lot of damage actually. He also didn't get very ideal items. +7 armor is pretty bad because I actually don't care about his keeper. But it will help his panda second. The panda I do probably focus a bit every now and then because it's up front melee. So now I have to worry a little bit. He is starting to damage all my stuff. Siphon was on cooldown. Now we can finally drain the panda a little. My footmen I need to be careful with. They're getting a little low. He's got an Ancient War here as well. So I'm like, okay, let's try to get Siphons off. That's the biggest thing here. Get Siphons off, keep the footman alive. I don't want the footman dying. I don't want him to hit 3. Because if he hits 3 and gets level 2 treants, bigger mana pool, and so on, it gets a little sketchy, right? So we try to keep these alive as best we can, but it's looking okay. He's getting a decent amount of damage in, but towers are up. And once the towers are up, the damage just gets insanely high comparatively. Because the Fen footmen are a little bit slow moving around. Got a lot of weak stuff here. Luckily he doesn't really get this archer picking off the low peasants. I use one regen scroll right away. He doesn't have very many units that can pick off the regen, so I'm like, okay, let's just get whatever health we can. See, 2 of them are still healing up. But I did lose a little bit more than I probably would have liked to there. It wasn't the greatest position to like move units through. But we're looking strong. And here's the counterplay. So the counterplay for him is stall as long as he can from range and get up an expansion. So the goal is generally here to try to get Keeper 3, use a bunch of clarities, and just entangle footmen down. And that's kind of what he's doing. He just needs like 1 kill, or maybe 2 kills, because he's splitting XP. 1 kill without the panda there. And he could actually just get level 3 keeper, maybe get some entangles. But I have my Bloodmage kind of in a position. Here I want him to entangle me. Ooh, and I do get the entangle, which allows me to then Flamestrike. I didn't do the Flamestrike as fast as I should have though. So it didn't do as much damage as I would have liked. But still some damage on the keeper is pretty relevant. The Moonwells are gone, and now he's sitting here without very much. I think the biggest thing is wisps. He doesn't have many wisps. There's like 2 out on the map here, and 2 more making Moonwells. So 4 wisps total. So wood economy is going to be awkward for him. And that's always your benefit. With these sort of aggressive plays on Night Elf in particular, see the same thing from Undead. You can get a lot of wisp kills and just kind of stop the elf from mining properly. So yeah, now he's got the level 2 treants. He decides to go for treants instead of entangle. It's definitely not bad, but I wouldn't have hated entangle as well. Because I have so few footmen, the treants are actually doing pretty good though. The extra like normal damage on top of the breath. But then after he does the second treant set there, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna pull back. I'm just gonna heal, sit in my towers. And these treants are not necessarily wasted because he's still gonna creep with them, but they're not getting as much value as he probably would have liked at this point, because he needs every bit of value he can get, right? Since he's kind of in rough shape with his base about to die. So yeah, now I'm like, okay, well, let's just go in, kill this stuff. I still got that greater healing I stole as well. There is potential to just sell this for extra gold, but I kind of wanted to keep it in case I get entangle focused and there was a situation where, you know, I could potentially die. Just kind of like insurance, basically. But yeah, I don't have tier 2. I set up towers here as well in the meantime. I don't remember the exact moment, but I was a little afraid, I think when he looped around here, that he might hit my base, and I was like, let's toss up some towers, at least get the arcane upgraded, and this one to block off a bit. You can always treant his way in, but the arcane is huge, because I want him to not be able to hinder my economy and make it back to one base versus one base, sort of. Because one base versus one base is not too bad for him, right? He's got 2 heroes, you know, he's in rough shape, but he has 2 heroes, he has access to the Merc camp, and his second hero, Panda, kind of just counters any tier 1 I have. So, we come in, we get an okay Flamestrike. Maybe I should have put it here, but the Flamestrike where it wasn't bad, and Archer died. I think I stole a creep, did some damage. And he still has to back off anyways, and now I get the Huntsman, I believe. I do have a lot of footmen here though, and now I kind of need to make something happen with them before it's too late.
The town is under siege.
I also went for the option of expanding. I felt like this was the safest. I could instead have just stayed tier 1. Oh yeah, I do upgrade this to a guard as well. Could just stay tier 1, you know, mass footmen or rifles. Try to get a little split there. Still get most of these hit. Yeah, I could have like mass footmen, rifles, just kind of kept pushing. But I was a little afraid, right? Like if this Panda reaches 3 soon, and he is actually close to 3, maybe he gets a couple breaths off. Maybe these breaths just kind of wipe the footmen. Maybe the Keeper gets some treants as well for that extra little bit of damage he needs and tankability. Like, these footmen could easily all just die and feed him, and then I just lose. So I was like, okay, expansion. Next up is tech. Once I get my wood economy, I'm trying to get the wood economy now here. Peasants queued up. Saving as many footmen as I can. Zoning flame strikes. I think these are pretty good. Like, right when he wants to get some footman kills, potentially, the flame strike comes in, pushes him back. Or the siphon comes in as well and makes his heroes pull back. And then, you know, I just back off. Just back off. Get my healing done. He's going to get 1 entangle kill here. But everything else is fine. And now we got still quite a lot of footmen. We're just going to heal up. Going to use a clarity as well. And it's looking pretty good for me. That being said, he is going tier 2. He has a lot of Moonwells to work with. He has good hero levels. And soon he's going to be you know, he can just start massing Dryads, essentially. Because Dryads will be good against the Flamestrike. He doesn't have to worry about defend with Dryads because he's going to have Treants and Breath take out the footmen anyways. Maybe even Entangle if the Keeper's 4 soon. So Dryads would be pretty good for him once he can get there, but he does still need his tier 2, and I'm just like, okay, I need to go in, I need to get something done. I have too many footmen. I've healed them up a lot. They need to do something. Pick up the Mud Golem as well, but I didn't actually use it effectively. So here I have the defend footmen. I try to put them on to the Berserkers, but he does a nice haze fire there, which does soften a lot of them up. But level 4 is a huge pickup. Now I got that level 2 Siphon available. Mud Golem, sad position for him. He kind of just dies without doing anything. I actually disabled autocast on him and then didn't actually manually cast anyways. This was kind of bad by me. I stayed for 1 last flame strike and didn't really pull back quick enough, resulting in me having to TP out. 1 more footman also dies there and he gets level 4. But I did wisely TP to my expo where the shop is. And yeah, now I'm just kind of waiting around. Once I get tier 2, I'll be able to buy a TP again. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see what I can do. But he actually decides to attack here. And this prompts me to be just like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to creep that. And we're just going to defend. He does kill a tower pretty quickly, but with all my footmen here, he can't really do much more, right? Because he doesn't actually have breath or more treants at this moment. We realize this, back off. I'm sitting in good shape. And tech is underway, tier 2. I have a lot of resources right now, but I don't really want to invest in any tier 1. So I reached tier 2, and it should be quick tier 3, there we go. And I decide to go for double sanctum, blacksmith. I should have already had the blacksmith so that I could have put up a workshop right away. That was kind of a mistake, but we do have the tech coming, and he's going to actually loop around to try to slow me down, to try to cancel my buildings, because I don't have them in the best position. And now he has his tier 2, he has his lures, he can start going dryads, and he does add 2 dryads. I think dryads are a good call for him. Good against the Flamestrike, good against the sanctums, and they don't care about the footman defend because he has enough footman defend counters with mana anyways. So yeah, this was a little awkward here. I don't have an arcane, I don't have another guard over here, so he kind of gets some damage in here that hurts a bit, and he gets a nice staff there. But I slow him down enough, or I shouldn't say slow him down enough. I hold well enough with a lot of these not dying and a lot of his mana drained from Siphon that it's actually okay. I put some footmen there, trying to draw the aggro a bit. If he doesn't manually click, he tries to get this tower real bad, and I think he does get it, maybe? Yeah. So he's like slowly picking me apart here, which is quite annoying, but I should have defend be able to turn on here in a sec. A little late, but it's fine. And Flamestrike hits a little bit, but the dryads there, don't worry about it too much. He doesn't have a lot of mana here, but still the heroes, the ogre, and a few dryad pokes are still okay. And he'll be able to just get a heal scroll if he needs to. And he should be in decent shape. So it's actually, for me, I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, maybe I screwed out. Maybe my tech was a little slow. I still have a lot of resources, a lot of bank, but I need to get something going, right? And I have double barracks as well. So my plan was to go into knights, caster, mortar. I'm going to have 5 production buildings. And this gold, even though it looks high right now, is going to get used up very quickly. I see I already got 72 supply capped. I'm ready to just blast up to 80 food, push in, and try to end the game. And I also decide it's now time to add a second hero. So I add the paladin. I think he gives a lot of value. I can get a second staff for knights. I can get Holy Light, I can get potentially Devotion Aura if I feel safe to do so. It just provides a lot of value. And then here I am, I come in here and get a bit of damage. I decide, hey, let's put the footmen on the wisps, try to get some kills. Flamestrike on the other wisp and the Moonwell, pick off the Hunter's Hall. And it's like, okay, we're getting stuff done here. He's kind of caught out of position here, getting levels. And I'm just continuing to do damage, keeping my breakers alive. The footmen are expendable, and at this point, the time they take to kill is still somewhat worth it for me. You know, he's using a breath here. He's doing some self-damage on his dryads. He's having to spend time here instead of creeping elsewhere. I know where he's at now. And all of my stuff is coming online, right? I got priests coming, I got mortars coming, I got a few breakers, I got knights queued up. You know, we're taking off. I got upgrades coming. I'm gonna be 0-1 and then probably 1-1 sometime during the fight. I got control magic already as well, and adept training. So I already got some of the upgrades I need. I don't remember if I have war training. I don't know if 985 health is war training or not. I think it actually is. But as you can see, my gold is starting to get used up. I'm at less than 500 gold now, even though I was at above 2k for quite a while. And that was the plan. Just get to tier 3 and the gold can get used super quick with these 5 production buildings. blast rate up to 80 food, and push in. So it's looking good. We're looking good. That being said, Hitman still does a really good job of staying in the game. He got a lot of Dryads, which I think was the right call. And now he's transitioning to tier 3 and Bears. But he had a bit of a problem. He lost his Hunter's Hall. He lost some of his Wisps. And he's trying to rebuild this, and then at some point when he thinks I'm going to push, he's going to break to 58 and try to stop it. But he can already see the Knights, he can already see the Dispel Magic, Dispel, the Entangle, the Keeper's starting to be useless here. He probably wants to pass the Robe to the Panda just for more mana at this point as well. Although the tank ability is not bad too. Yeah, Keeper just trying to stall as much as he can while the Panda is creeping off to the side. Panda wanted 5 so badly, but with Mortars here, I'm able to quickly take out his buildings, and you see, he just doesn't even get to produce bears from that. And we do quite a bit of damage here, drain his mana. He's getting 1 set of Treants, but I actually have Dispel. I could have controlled Magic instead, but Dispel was fine as well, I guess. And yeah, now we're going. He gets a nice breath on my mortars, but my Paladin has a staff, my Bloodmage has a staff, and I got a lot of priest heal here. And with so many knights here, I'm just able to kind of keep him at bay. I think I lose 1 knight there though. Wasn't able to staff quick enough. But look at these mortar shots. The Dryads are suddenly a liability now that tier 3 is online. Nice staff there, and GG is called. And we take down Hitman on Echo Isles. Or ELFMANE, I guess you could call him. Because, yeah, he's playing Elf instead of Orc. Score-wise, he actually still had pretty solid score. You know, he did what he needed to do, which is get his heroes high level, expand and just stall. You know, get as much gold as you can out of your main, and then expand. And it's hard for the human to keep pushing, right? Like if I try to put towers there, he's got new moon wells to work with. He can maybe throw up a AP or some Ancient Wars or whatever he needs, and he should be fine. It was risky to keep going, so I decided to pull back, expand, and it worked out in the end. As you can see, I got a lot of extra resources, a lot of extra tech, and just that 80 food human army looking strong. So yeah, this was actually, I think Hitman was, I think he was 56-0 on BNET, and this was actually his first loss as well with Night Elf. So kind of feels good, man. But in general, Hitman's off races do tend to beat me, even with my main race. So, you know, every now and then I can pull a lucky game like this. But yeah, take what I can and just enjoy it for what it is. But yeah, that was that game. It was pretty solid. I think I played it fairly well, especially after that botched start. If I don't know if everyone remembers, but I did have that early peasant trying to do a pull into the Ancient War, but he didn't actually have an Ancient War there. So it was kind of just a botched start, but then I got lucky with the middle marketplace creep jack that got me some free XP and the item, and from there, just a solid push. It was a nice game, a nice win.